I was making $35,000 in the G League.
Say that one more time.
I was making $35,000 in the G League. I'm doing a lot of luxury builds in Joshua Tree right now. That was kind of my way to get into development. I was all in about 200 grand on that house. The next year I sold it for 320. 3x, 4x my G League salary right there.
Wow. You might have missed basketball, and then when you saw your first real estate return and you compared that to like G League Game Check, you'd be like, sayonara, baby. Like, this is what I'm doing.
I think this is my time to come in and make a name. You know?
Yeah.
I'm in the driving seat now. I'm not being somebody else's puzzle piece for an organization.
What's the coolest thing you've ever put in a house?
Coolest thing I ever put in a house?
You ever put like a trampoline in that thing? Let's go, baby. It's another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast. I'm your host, Noah Lack, and I bring on your favorite athletes to chat about a business topic. Today, we have former professional basketball player Terry Harris, who is a real estate developer, really making a name for himself. He is killing it here. And, that's why we had to skip the small talk, because Terry, when are we going to go glamping in Joshua Tree where you're making these beautiful, units and developing in like the coolest place ever? It's on my bucket list. So like, what's the deal here?
Man, you let me know whenever you want to pull up.
Okay.
But first, man, just appreciate you having me. Appreciate you reaching out. And I see this thing blowing up.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. We got to have a celebration party at one of your units, Joshua Tree.
Yeah, hell yeah.
How did you land on Joshua? Like, how did you find that space to be, attractive for you?
Mm-hmm. So I was doing, I started getting into my real estate journey when I was playing in the G League with the Delaware Blue Coats. And I would do all my pre-draft or all my off-season training in LA. And, living in LA is obviously like kind of expensive. The entry to get into some homes were around like 700, 800,000. And I wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
So my thing was, okay, let me find the nearest market that can
So let's go to the desert.
The desert, exactly. So the desert out there was houses that were selling anywhere from like 200 grand and up. And I knew that, with my income from the G League and playing basketball, that I can afford to purchase a home in this scale. So, and the numbers look really good. I could purchase a home for 200 grand, put some work into it, make it an Airbnb, and look to make upwards of $5-6 grand a month and cash flow close to $3,000 to $4,000 a month per property.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mean you were in Delaware? There's nothing in Delaware that you were looking at? It was just when, you were in your off seasons in LA? I mean, LA is a little more attractive than Delaware, so you don't have to, explain yourself there. But like, why LA versus the East Coast? No,
I actually started when I was in the G League. I was always like touring houses with realtors. I was reading all the real estate books that you can name, and I bought my first house in Delaware for $170,000. So I bought it with 3% down, owner occupied loan, and I came to the closing table with a $5,600 check. And I negotiated seller credits for safety hazards with the house, and I left with
whoa, that was a lot of like crazy terminology.
That was
no, but like, I mean, for people that really, really know the space, you're speaking fluently. But can you break down what?
Yeah. So
what just happened?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did go too crazy.
That was crazy. 50% down payment, safety hazard. I'm like, okay, no, I don't know, but okay. I mean,
yeah. So. What a lot of people don't know is you can put 3% down on a home. So everyone thinks, it's like 20% down to buy a house. So you can put 3% down as long as you live in it for a year.
Okay.
So in Delaware, there's $170,000 homes. I already got pre-approved by a bank to be able to purchase a home like this or get a loan for a home like this. So all I had to do was put up 3%, which was about $5,600. And my G League salary wasn't that much. I was making $35,000 in the G League.
Say that one more time.
I was making $35,000 in the G League.
If you think you make professional basketball, it just makes you rich, man. All you young guys watching, please read up on what people make. And that's and it's no shade, because a G League is incredible. Like many G League players could be in the league. Sure. It just speaks to how tough it is.
Yeah, 100%. And it was $35,000. It was a 6-month season. So like, almost every day I would be like, all right, how am I going to make some money? Like what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I got to make a living for myself at the end of the day. I'm not trying to go back to my parents' house and, I really want to like make something for myself. So, that's how like I stumbled upon real estate. And
yeah. What was said about real estate for you versus another industry? Like why real estate?
Man, why? Oh, easy. Real estate for me was like, I want to have ownership of something, you know. I want to have, you know, you can buy stocks and, you know, play around with crypto, but I want to know that I own this asset. And that's kind of what made me like, okay, this could be really a cool avenue to get into. And I just started reading a little bit, and I was just like, look, I'm going to go in this avenue, see where it takes me, and just go all in. And that's kind of how the real estate journey just fell upon me.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then sorry to cut you off on the East Coast, West Coast thing.
Yeah.
But you know, LA is just this vast suburb, just many cities. You know, you decided Joshua Tree. Where else are you involved?
Right now, Joshua Tree and just Los Angeles. So.
Okay. Yeah. When we think about real estate development, everyone likes to talk about, I feel like the Sun Belt, you know, Texas or you know, Nashville or somewhere, but LA real estate, what was surprised you about trying to develop homes in Southern California?
Oh man, LA is kind of, I mean, LA is obviously like, it has like the glitz and glam that people talk about. But really, when you drive around LA, you're going to see a lot of homeless people. You're going to see a lot of, you know.
You see some stuff, man.
You're going to see some stuff. Yeah,
this is not a...
You go to downtown LA, you're going to see some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and it's kind of like, that's not the LA I thought it was. But what a lot of people don't understand, LA is like very, very unaffordable. And it's unaffordable because there's just not enough housing out here. It's like really what it comes down to. And I think like a lot of people like try to make it rocket science. It's just, it's not unaffordable. And that's why there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of homelessness going on. So, you know, the entry to LA, I think in the past, it's always been really, really tough to develop. But now it's becoming a lot, they're making it more easier. They're allowing developers to come and do things. And that's kind of where now it's like, for me as a developer who's new, I'm like, all right, well, LA's starting to invite developers. I think this is my time to come in and like really make a name, you know?
Yeah. And timing is, you know, they always say location in real estate, but timing is key. Is huge. And I also see that same sort of issue with San Francisco. I think they're just different. There's like a housing issue in San Francisco. Developers are having trouble trying to build affordable places.
Sure.
I think differently because the geography, it's like so small. It's like much smaller. And also it's just crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Sure. And what part of LA are you in? You in Echo? You said Echo Park. That's where you live. Yeah. LA is fascinating. So your fun. Can you speak about, you know, the different kind of stuff you guys are involved with and give us like the bird's eye view of
for sure. So I'm doing a lot of luxury builds in Joshua Tree right now. Yeah. That was kind of my way to get into development and really the way to learn how to develop from the ground up. Okay. I've done about 10 luxury single family homes out there, all throughout the high desert, and that's just my way to be creative with the whole process. Have fun with it. Some sell, some are Airbnbs, and really it's just my way of really truly learning how to develop from buying land, selecting the right architects, putting a creative vision together, and seeing the image come to life, and then. And now I've been transitioning to multifamily in Los Angeles, and really pretty much same process. Multifamily is a bit more like intricate, a bit more sophisticated.
How so?
Just the way you submit plans is more of a strenuous process. You know, in Joshua Tree, I can get my plans approved in 3 to 4 months. I probably just need like 2-3 site tests.
Joshua Tree feels easier just because, I mean, you can probably go to a plotted desert. Who's going to stop you from putting some pipes and irrigation and cactus where no one's going to come and like, I don't know.
You'll be surprised actually out there in the desert. They don't really want people building that like that out there. So.
That's a national park. So that makes sense.
Yeah. That's one thing. A lot of cities, they'll try to regulate building like to the most they can. So that's something that we always have to like deal with on the everyday basis, is like, dealing with city officials and things like that. But I mean, it's part of the game.
Yeah. It's much harder with multifamily.
Mm-hmm. It has been, but it's starting to ease up and become more and more easy.
Has it been difficult because it's just pretty much more land you need to build on, or there's stupid city regulations, or all of the above, or?
So we call them NIMBYs. That's what like the term.
Yeah, what is NIMBYs? I've heard that before.
Yeah, not in my backyard. And
that's the thing.
Oh man, like now, like when you build affordable housing in LA today, a NIMBY can't, halt your process. But if I was to build like a luxury apartment 2 years ago, and you happen to be the neighbor, and you're like, no, I don't want that there. That blocks my sunlight. That could delay my process 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
So like,
yeah,
you can go to the,
I'm throwing shade because he's giving me shade. I'm going to the city like, hey man, building this high rise, like fuck that.
In California, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
And, that's something that a lot of developers have to deal with. And it can a lot of people have a lot of money.
So do you go to court or is it?
Yeah, sometimes if they come at you, if the NIMBYs come at you, and there can be a court case about it, and you got like a whole bunch of appeals to your project, and you have to deal with all that and say why this project is good for the community. And, this is a whole other people you have to deal with.
Everyone hates NIMBYs until they are one, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Actually, I just said that. I don't know. I don't know actually, but I mean, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
You might be a NIMBY one day.
Right. You'll buy a house that you live in for a long time, and somebody wants to
mess it up? Wants to build a multifamily home?
I won't be.
And make TikTok and Instagram videos? Blasphemous. Who would ever do that? I'll play it.
Too much.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. And it's Visionary Development Fund.
Visionary Development Group, yeah.
Do you Visionary Development Group?
Yep.
When you put down payments or you have that initial capital, is that coming out of your pocket, or have you raised money from, do you have a fund that you pull in capital from other people?
Yeah, so I've always, when I first started, I always thought real estate was also like, I got to do it on my own. And like my first couple houses I would do, with my internally. But what I've learned, like scaling, for me to scale, bringing on partners was like a way to see myself grow to another level. So
yeah. Takes a village, right?
Yeah, really, really does. And like when you see the people who are at the highest level in this game, they bring on their people, they bring on their whole team, they bring on, and that's how they're there.
Yeah.
So currently, I don't have a fund as of yet, but I just keep my team internal.
Okay.
Right now I have a team of myself. I have a partner. His name's Andrew Slocum. He does a lot of affordable housing in LA.
Okay.
My brother Tobias.
Okay.
And a lot of good mentors that just people, it's not even about the money, but it's like a lot of mentors who've been doing real estate development for years, who've just been like helping every single type of way. Shoot, that's my team too, that kind of weighs more than just any little money out of the pocket.
Right. So these guys, but do these guys that you mentioned, Tobias, Andrew, have they pulled money to help you invest, or are they just giving you the advice or the connecting you network wise?
Sure. So in the multifamily sphere, we're all coming together with money and that advice as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome, man. Like what advice can you give about, multifamily investing and like what you're doing, man? What's something that you wish you knew earlier? Let's start off there.
Ooh, wish I knew earlier. Ooh, there's a lot. Definitely something about like, don't be afraid to work with people. I feel like a lot of people want to like shy away and like try to do everything on their own. I feel like also the multifamily game, it's somebody told me this real estate game is like, it's wherever you can see yourself at. So he said, he was telling me I spent too much time flipping houses.
Yeah.
He says, once I saw myself building skyscrapers and things like that, and I can translate myself and see myself doing that, that's when I got there. And the difference between him flipping houses, and he said he made good money. He made like, $500,000, but now he's making close to like $50 million with his real estate company, building apartments and everything. He says he's not working harder, but he's just seeing himself on that higher level. And I think the same thing goes with basketball too. It's like, when guys are in the league, like guys are in the league, or even when I was training, right? So I'll go back to my basketball journey, right?
Yeah.
I came out of a HBCU, right?
Yeah.
And
give him a shout out, by the way.
North Carolina A&T.
I could have said that, but you went there, so
it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It was cool.
Okay.
North Carolina A&T. So. But coming out, like HBCU, it's like, and you being an NBA or draft guy, those guys are overlooked. It's not like the competition's different. Things are different. So it's like mentally, I'm not really seeing myself as an NBA guy yet. I go to LA, right?
Yeah.
I go train with Chris Johnson. I'm surrounded with NBA guys, training with them every day. And it took me like a good year of working out in that environment to really see myself like on an NBA level. And then like it got to a point where I felt like on a higher level.
Yeah.
So I think like that can result in like almost any realm, whether like real estate, if I'm just flipping little houses, or now if I'm building skyscrapers, I'm not working harder. I'm still like, when I was flipping houses, I was in there peeling paint off houses and doing all this crazy stuff, working from 7 a.m. to whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm pretty much putting the same, my work ethic hasn't changed from playing basketball to doing little houses or to building big apartment complexes, but it's kind of what I'm seeing for myself that has changed.
It's kind of like, you can shoot 30 pull-up jumpers anywhere, but like when you're Chris Johnson's in the room and you're working out with like clutch guys or, and NBA players, you go a little harder, you see the game a little differently, and then you start playing on one-on-one, you get a couple buckitos on them, you're like, all right, I probably could do this. And then 100%. The same translates to real estate where, maybe at first you tried to invest by yourself and thought that you didn't need any outside help on certain things, but then you start rolling with the guys who've maybe done this before, and I'm sure that's really helped you.
Tremendously. You just learn different things that you didn't think that you needed to learn, or learning different things about politics or different laws to get you a step higher. So man, it all correlates. And I didn't even when you transition from basketball to real estate, I remember somebody was asking me like, what's the difference? And I was like, or like, is there any similarities? And I'm like, I don't see any. But now like mentally, like there's like so many similarities in like just business and athletics. It's crazy,
Yeah. I got checked earlier because I was talking with someone who was like, look, dude, you've put in all these reps in basketball, but do you ever practice by yourself when you like for podcasting? Like, do you ever go and like talk to yourself? And I'm like, not really. I just like hop on the pod and shoot my stuff. Well, it's like, you're talented, but you don't put in enough reps. You don't put in enough work. I'm like, fuck you. You're right. You're actually right. Like I don't. And so it's crazy. You think that it's completely different, but it's all translatable.
Yeah, all translatable, 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Have you been a source for NBA players who want to learn about real estate development? Like, man, I got to hit up that guy Terry, man. He's in Joshua Tree with a tucked in shirt, on with a mic and clips. Like he knows what he's doing.
I hope I'm not that one with a tucked in shirt.
Stylish though.
Stylish though. Yeah, there we go. Man, there's been a couple guys who've been reaching out, and like sometimes like when they're in LA, we'll like go tour sites, and I'll just be a resource. I in this game, I feel like there's a lot of people who are just telling people to go invest here, and invest here. Those type of people, like the middlemen that just say, go invest.
Well, yeah, that's why we have this thing, man, to get rid of them.
Oh, they really. But my thing is just like, look, this is the way I've done it. I was like, and if you want to do it, this is it's a route that you can take as well.
Right.
I don't want to be that one that's like, come invest with me and this. I don't got to be a salesman.
The returns will speak for themselves. Exactly. The work will speak for itself.
Exactly. But I want my thing is like, I just want athletes to know like, yo, you can go this route if you want to.
Yeah.
You can go this route if you want to.
Speak on that, man. Cause like, look, we talked about the G League salary, but I'm sure when you stopped playing, you might have missed basketball. And then when you saw your first real estate return and you compared that to like a G League game check, you'd be like, sayonara, baby. Like, this is what I'm doing.
I think the moment I knew that I was like, man, I got to let this momentum, I got to keep building this was, first, the house in Delaware, when I bought it for $170, I was all in about $200,000 on that house. The next year I sold it for $320,000. So that 3x, 4x my G League salary right there.
Wow.
And I was like 1 foot in real estate, 1 foot out. Then
you're like, imagine if I put 2 feet in and jump in that thing. Exactly. Like, are you kidding me?
100%. And then I created like a wholesaling business in real estate, which was like, wholesaling was like this thing where it requires no money. And it's just like, if you own a property, it's like, hey, no, I want to buy your property for $200,000. And then I go and tell this investor, hey, I have this property for $215,000. Do you want to buy it? He says, yes. You want to sell it? we sell it, you get the keys, he gets the keys, you get your 200 grand, I get the 15,000 for basically a finder's fee.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and I scaled that thing up to like doing 3-4 deals a month. And that was
while you were playing.
I was working out. Yeah, I was working out at the time. Yeah, I was working out at the time. This was like during COVID.
Okay.
So people were buying like crazy, and this was just like, here's a deal.
Yeah, because they're moving out of the cities.
Exactly. So I did that, and I scaled up 3 to 4 deals a month, averaging around like 8,500 a month in wholesale deals. And that, when I started seeing that money coming in, and then getting an offer to go overseas for $5,000 a month, I was like, I can't do this.
No,
I can't.
Why would you?
Exactly. So, and that was like the decision, and I was like, I made that decision, and I remember like the first 3 months for me was like, it was cool. I was just getting up, and I was like, I didn't go to the gym, but I just like worked out, did regular stuff. And then after 3 months, I was like, oh shit, did I make the right decision? But this is like, question it. All the athletes question it. You know, it's just like, that's you know, I've been playing it all my whole life.
Right.
So I've never took that break. I've never took more than a month break off playing basketball. It was my first time.
Yeah.
So I think like after 2 months, I was like, oh no, I don't know. I'm like, is this really what I did? I was like,
damn.
But yeah, you question it. And I definitely had like times where I'm like sitting, I was like, dang, should I go back in the gym and like start working out? I actually did for a little bit. And then I had to like kind of like, look. I'm in the avenue now where I'm like, I'm in the driving seat now.
Yeah.
I'm not playing, I'm not being somebody else's puzzle piece or for an organization. I'm not playing for this organization 1 year, then going to this country, then going to this country, then going to this league. I'm like I'm being able to really depict my future.
Right.
And really me knowing that, I did that, and to this day, knowing it is just, it doesn't make me feel like I've made the wrong decision.
Right. Yeah. That's powerful, man. Speaking of the future, do you envision, and this is just turning the wheels here, do you see a world where like there's a ton of good American players who are overseas playing now, but do you see a future where there's more guys like you who will stay in the G League and will start their like side hustle or business with full intention of potentially sticking around and maybe getting an NBA call-up? However, if they do it right, may make more money than if they went overseas, even though that overseas salary might be more money than the G League salary. It's not marginally enough for them to give that up, right? So
leveraging their connections in the United States,
right,
to build a business and things like that,
right, while they're still playing, versus taking that overseas salary, which might be a little more than G League salary, but it's not something that really moves the needle that much. That's tough. What do you think about that? Is that, I mean, you know, because as a player and a professional, you don't want to just spew what you're doing off the court in your workplace, which is the court. So, you know, you're not going to talk to your coaches about your multifamily house in Joshua Tree while they want you to like run to the fucking corner and like get a shot, right? But you know, when practice is over, you're a pro. That's not their business. So I'm basically saying, like, do you think more guys will be like you in the future? Feel like you're ahead of a potential path for someone to stay in America, take that G League salary, but also stack something else on top of it?
I think it's tough. And I'll say this.
If you disagree, please. Yeah. It makes for a better podcast also.
I think the reason I say it's tough is because you got to think, like, when guys let's just say guys in college, right? When they're playing basketball, like, basketball is their drive and their why. Like, they're trying to get to the next level. They're trying to get to the NBA. And I like personally think like you have a every day you have like a glass of water full of energy, right? And like, what are you gonna put that energy to every day?
Right.
So it's like now, like a guy in a G League who's trying to pursue their whatever, if they have a passion to create a clothing line or something, and they see it start taking off on like a huge trajectory. You know, do they have that same drive to go and like day after day, be in the gym super early, be in the gym super late, getting extra shots in? It's like, or are they going to spend extra time like working on their business, working on their brand? Like, that's gonna, like, they're gonna have to make that decision one way or another.
True.
So if they can balance it, I don't. That's one of the.
What if it's like a bench G League role? What if it's like a role player that's like, bro, fucking the Lakers ain't calling me up. Like, you know what I mean? Like I run the floor hard. I rebound.
Man, and give your spot up to somebody else who wants it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. That's
okay.
Tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm big on like, I'm also very big on like, you'll specialize on something and let that thing grow into a tree. And then that tree is going to give you so much other things in life as well. Whether it be the connections or like different streams of income and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from like really specializing on something. And then I think another thing is, it's one thing like to do something, but when we get into these new businesses at young ages, like basketball players coming out of the game, you're executing and you're learning at the same time. So it's like you have to spend like crazy hours in the beginning, like because this is new to us. You know,
Yeah.
This is not basketball we've been playing all our lives, but now like you're trying to tackle something and learn it at the same time, and that's what I've caught myself doing in just multiple different avenues in real estate, from like one, just getting into real estate and then real estate development.
Yeah.
Like now today I'm executing and I'm learning. So I'm like, the hours I spend are just like way more than normal. But I know in like a couple of years, I'll be able to, you know, maneuver and mitigate these things a little bit better.
Can you walk us through the life cycle of a project in what you do specifically? So let's say like one of your multifamily units in LA, you know, what did it take to get it to secure the land, from like how you go, like who you hire to build the unit to like who you're giving the money to? Can you just take us through an example of something under your fund, man? Like,
yeah, for sure. So like, I guess the first thing is like, we'll find the site, and then, but the site is also like, okay, is it the right price that we're looking for? Is it in the same buying criteria of like what we'll spend for land? And is it in the right zoning? So like if we want to build 40 units, do we know that the zoning allows us to build 40 units? And if it marks every one of those checkpoints and we put the offer and they accept our offer and we know we have the capacity to fund that deal, then we'll go on a strike on it. The next thing really is onboarding an architect to start the plans, start submitting the plans. We want to make sure that, you know, nobody can kind of go against us. No NIMBYs can like say, no, you guys can't build this. We want to make sure that, you know, what we are proposing to build can be built. So we'll get going on that process. And then after the architect has finished their plans, we'll submit to the city. We'll get, you know, all our site tests, our structural engineers, our MEPs, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, all done. And really now it's like kind of a bit of a waiting game. You're also like every week you'll have like one or two calls with architects or other consultants. And then I think a lot of my time now is also spent on the building that we make, right? The biggest risk now is like, okay, we want to build this building, but is the cost of the building going to be the cost that we project it to be? So we call that value engineering. And
you're the value engineering guy. I've heard some stuff, man. Chat to us a little value engineering, bro. So for anyone who doesn't know value engineering and just like here's this boring phrase with engineering in it, like you have been bestowed the responsibility right now to like make it as cool as possible.
As cool as possible. All right, that's
or as digestible as possible.
That's man, I guess value engineering really is like if you go to the Dior shop and you got a card, but you don't know how much money's on your credit card, and you're like, shoot, I want these sneakers, this hat, this, that, and then you get to the register and your card gets declined.
Yeah.
So basically, like value engineering is like your project. If you go,
God forbid, I haven't been in the Dior store anyways. But if that happened,
you tell me this came from it.
Yeah. It's a good one. Yeah, but we'll wait till like a sponsor comes. You know what I mean?
But it's the same thing with a project. So like, if you're like, man, I want this place to be, I want this place to have these cool doors, and I want this place to have these cool windows and nice finishes and things like that. And then it's time to break ground. The contractor's going to say, okay, it's going to cost $6 million to build this. And you're going to be like, whoa. I have a budget of $4 million. So value engineering is basically you knowing the cost of your build prior to breaking ground. So
Okay.
you knowing how much money each item is at the Dior shop before you go to the register.
It's really a smart thing to do.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's like
But
a scouting report.
a lot of guys don't do it though in this game.
Okay.
A lot of guys don't do it. A lot of guys just think like, look, I'm going to build this thing for, this guy said he built it for this price, so I can build it for this price too.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of guys do. And basically the way to mitigate that is always having a contractor constantly like with you while you're working with the architect, so you know how to keep your costs in line. And that's the main thing. And I kind of, my first house actually, I didn't do that. My first house was just like all I heard was building a luxury home is $300 a square foot. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna build this house for $300 a square foot. My house ended up costing about $450 a square foot.
You didn't do the scouting report.
I didn't do the scouting report.
You didn't watch film.
I
You didn't take notes. That's my comparison with what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like just
100%.
scouting. So then you can come to the table knowing your numbers, and then maybe negotiate a better deal per square foot.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like sometimes you just gotta be like, look, I can't put all this glass in this house, or I gotta like ease up a little bit.
Okay.
I can't get as cool as I want this house to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like really that, and that's like value engineering, and that's how a lot of guys in this game, make or break it. You know? They like, to be honest, and it's huge. So that's a huge part of the game.
What's the coolest thing you've ever put in a house?
Coolest thing I ever put in a house. Let me think.
You ever put like a trampoline in that thing, or?
I got a pickleball court in one of these houses. This is pretty cool. Pickleball court.
Way to be forward thinking, man.
Yeah, right. You gotta.
Yeah,
you gotta make.
Jones family will love that. Oh, they got a pickleball court in the backyard. Good job, Terry.
Yeah, so that's cool. What else I got? I got like there's one house I have has just like panoramic glass all throughout, like the top of it under the roof. So just like a cool aesthetic to it.
Ooh.
I like huge doors, front doors. So like I always built like a big pivot door. And
those are smooth. The pivot doors.
Yeah.
Does it go 360 or does it just like go 180?
It goes both ways. So
okay,
whatever that is.
I don't even know.
180 something.
180.
Yeah, we'll say 180.
Okay, 180.
Yeah, but huge pivot doors are just kind of like, I don't know. It's like you walk in, it feels grand. So like I try to put one in every one of the houses.
Yeah, it does feel grand, especially when the door is like really high and tall.
So
I mean, you're a tall guy, so
9-foot pivot,
yeah.
9 foot, 6 foot wide. They'll do it.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool. What else? Like anything else notable on that front?
I try to keep the houses like, also like I'm a young guy in this game too. Real estate development gets a term for like, just old man in this game. So I want to make sure like, these houses have a cool aesthetic to them.
Sure.
And even my builds too. Now it's like, just, and sometimes it's like, just being a little creative with it, but also making sure like we're not killing the price. So I want to make sure like every build is like has a unique characteristic to it. And that's also why I like Joshua Tree too, because it wasn't just like a little boom, a cookie cutter home I would put down, but like these homes would be very unique with different tastes to it. And that makes it fun for me.
I got a request for you.
What's that?
I need a pool, a hot tub, a trampoline into a ball pit, or the square comfy blocks that are just like cushiony that you see at like the trampoline park.
That would be good in Joshua Tree. That would kill it.
That would be like this feels like a Steve Aoki type of escape in Joshua Tree. That's some like trippy LA stuff.
That would be killer.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet, right?
They probably call, people doing trippy stuff in Joshua Tree. They probably get a lot of calls at like 2:00 in the morning saying, hey, I don't know.
Someone jumped off the trampoline, his head is stuck in the ceiling and their body is just hanging down. Can you please like rescue this victim? It's like a national park ranger. Like what? You know what I mean? A movie theater.
Movie theater's big. A lot of people do that.
That's all I got. Not too much, right?
Let's get one together. Let's build one.
Can I come to you value engineered with a discount? Would you be able to
A discount? What type of discount?
The Athletes and Assets, a discount.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, hey man, we appreciate you joining the podcast. It's been another great one with my guy Terry Harris, former professional basketball player, real estate developer extraordinaire. I'm your host, Noah Lack, man. Hey, welcome to the A&A community, brother.
I appreciate you.
This was a lot of fun.